Hey, this is the World Advice Channel. What I want to talk about today is a question that a lot of people have, particularly in the past year or so. This is a question that keeps on coming up all the time, over and over again. Will China invade Taiwan? Now, to answer this question the most honest, thorough way possible without any political bias, as well as political, hidden agendas, left, right, whatever sort of thing. I will explain in a very clear, thorough way the question of will China ever invade Taiwan? Not just in the next few years, but the next few decades. Simply put it, in a very straightforward way. So let's get started. So to answer the question of will China ever invade Taiwan, the simple answer is no. China will never invade Taiwan. The simple reason why, more like, is simply put it, too much would be on the line for China to ever risk having a war with America over Taiwan. The simple reasons why, to be more specific, is first and foremost, America is China's biggest trading partner. Okay, if they were to obviously go invade Taiwan, as well as not just America, Europe as well, if they were to invade them, then who would they trade with? In all honesty, because the Western world, America and Europe, um, are the biggest, consumers in the world, in general, for that matter. It's not like just the rest of the world where they just simply consume things just simply to stay alive. They consume things simply for their own personal amusement, whether it could be collectible things, toys, video games, accessories, all that type of stuff. The West in general is a very big trading partner with China, and China makes a bunch of money off of it. So if they're to go to war with them, who would they trade with? Who would they simply make their profits and their money off of in the first place, to put it bluntly? Okay, so let's just use common sense here. That's the first thing I have to simply say. Who would they trade with anymore? What, India? India doesn't like China, and just in general, who really would? Because in general, for that matter, um, that is simply who they make the most profits off of. Whether the whole world relies on China or not, the people who obviously they make the biggest profits off of is American Europe. So if they were to be at war with them, who would they make their money off of? Simply put it. So that's the first reason. The second thing to go along with that first point is simply due to the fact that this is what we in politics we refer to as posturing. Just like during the USSR days and even going further back in history, but particularly the USSR days, the Cold War days, nations would always have these excuses, would do all this stuff and say, oh, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. There'd be a bunch of hype about it. Everyone's scared, just like the Cuban Missile Crisis. Russia said, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. Nothing really happens. Not to mention the numerous, of course, things that happened in that era that they said, well, we're going to do. And some things might have even happened that no one even really remembers. Because you have to remember, and this is the weird thing about the 20th century, is that every single day of that time period, something was always being recorded, just like today. But of course, in a different way. But yeah, back then everything was being recorded just like today. So and there actually has been some discussion about that there could be things that happen that we don't even remember today, that we don't even have any recordings of, because it just simply depends on who recorded this and that. So the truth of the matter is, the point is, there's a lot of things that happened in those days, in the Cold War days. Russia said, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, and everyone's hyping, saying, "Oh God, we might have a world war. We might have a World War III." At the end of the day, guess what happens? Nothing. Nothing happens in the end of the day. It was all just posturing. Because at the end of the day, they both sides are smart enough to realize if they actually were to go to war, they would lose a lot of things, and it would just destroy the world and put the world into utter chaos, particularly with the fact that now we have nuclear weapons, you know, in the world nowadays. It's not like in the days of like the British and the French when they used to have their wars all the time and all this sort of stuff, you know, where people could have wars and stuff as freely as they want without having to worry about the world coming to them. This time period we live in is different. People don't have that luxury anymore. So they're not gonna. So it's just like that. They're not gonna do anything. And the same thing is with their ally, North Korea. North Korea for years have been saying they're gonna launch missiles in America and this and that and blah 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 blah, and nothing really happens. Same exact thing. Okay, this has been going on for years now with those types of countries. They're not gonna do anything. Just like Iran saying they're gonna blow Israel off the map. When have they ever done that? Or even plan to do that? Never. It's all just hype. Those type of countries have been doing this for years now, and they're not gonna really. Nothing's really gonna change. They would lose simply too much, and the sanctions would probably be would be so ridiculous. It'd be something that the world has never seen before, for crying out loud. It could make nations that were developed look more like there is something out of like the 1800s with how bad the sanctions would be, for crying out loud, if they were to ever have like do some of the things they say that they're going to do. So the truth of the matter is, no, I don't believe they're going to actually do anything. China's not going to do anything. Not to mention, the truth of the matter is, they're already becoming a world superpower. So why would they take the chance of becoming a world superpower, the number one superpower, even beyond America, just simply to take over a nation known as Taiwan, that has a nation that has also shown historically it wants nothing to do with China. It's kind of silly. And like if you have the whole world to you, because China is really taking over the world for that matter. Why do we want to waste it with a nation that only has like 20 something million people, even if they have oil reserves? Because people say, well, they want the oil, but like, what's so magical about this oil? Like these oil reserves or something, in Taiwan. Like, is it like something it's gonna make the Middle East look like a joke or something? Like, no, it's nothing that special. It's just crap and just simply posturing and all this type of crap. They're not gonna do anything. To put it bluntly, anything is possible. But the truth of the matter is, it's just all hype. It's all media hype. Same old, same old, same old. But at the end of the day, nothing really happens. It's just more a show of strength of China as a nation, and that they can stand up to America, America in their bullying ways and this and that. But in the end of the day, is there actually really a need for it? No, not really, not necessarily. Everything's pretty much has been going quite decently for China. Yes, they have their issues in their own nation, but at the same time, they have been doing quite well in general for that matter, particularly with how America's falling apart. Why the hell would they want to waste their time invading this nation that would easily cost them tens of thousands of people? Not to mention how much people in their own nation are unhappy with their own government. So you have to use these types of logic. Like, you can't just in life just listen to everything you hear people say and believe it. Anything is possible, I have to admit. So maybe there's like a 1% chance that yes, they might invade Taiwan, but in the end of the day, most likely they're not gonna do shit. They're just all hyping stuff up just simply to make themselves look better and look strong and powerful, but nothing's really gonna come of it. So anyway, the truth of the matter is China going to invade Taiwan? No. No, they're not going to invade Taiwan. It's just all hype, if anything. It's it's just like, a nation just simply brandishing, the fact that they have maybe the most powerful warship or something that they're probably never going to use. It's the same as that here. So anyway, this is my video. If you like this video and like videos like this, remember to hit the thumbs up button and subscribe. And this is all I have to say, and simply put it, later.